Morning students. Today our topic is direct and indirect band gap semiconductors. So already we know that semiconductors are two types, intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. So here also the semiconductors are two types, indirect band gap semiconductors and direct band gap semiconductors. So this classification is done based on type of recombination takes place in semiconductors. So depending upon type of recombination in the semiconductor, again the semiconductors are classified into direct and indirect band gap semiconductor. So here, according to classical mechanics, so generally mechanics always deals the motion of bodies. So in physics, the mechanics are divided into two types, classical mechanics and one more is the quantum mechanics. So the classical mechanics deals the motion of macroscopic bodies like particles, bullets, guns, etc. So according to classical mechanics, the momentum of a particle is given by P equals to mv. Here P is called momentum, m is the mass of the particle, v is the velocity of the particle. So from classical mechanics, the momentum of particle or body always equals to mass into velocity, and the energy E equals to p square by 2m. Here P is the momentum, so energy E equals to p square by 2m. So come to our electron. So electron, which is having low mass, already we know that electron has low mass 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg, and it is a macroscopic particle, and it is a microscopic particle. So the quantum mechanics deals the motion of microscopic particles. So that's why here our electron motion is described using quantum mechanics. In the opposite topic, that means direct and indirect band gap semiconductor, the electron motion is considered as wave motion. Here the electron motion is considered as wave motion. So according to de Broglie hypothesis, every body which is having some mass and velocity, they exhibit duality. Duality means both particle nature and electron nature. Here also our electron has dual nature, that is particle nature and wave nature. Here we are taking or we are considering the wave nature of the electron. So according to quantum mechanics, the electron momentum is P, that equals to hk by 2 pi. So the momentum of electron P equals to hk by 2 pi. Here k is called propagation vector or wave vector or propagation constant. So indirectly here k represent the momentum of the electron, because h is constant, 2 pi is also constant. So that's why here k is treated as momentum of electron, and the energy of electron E equals to h square k square by 4 pi square m, using the same relation. So here h is Planck's constant, 4 is a constant, pi is a constant and m is a constant. So that's why the energy is only depends on this k value. What is meant by k? K is nothing but propagation constant, otherwise wave vector. So the energy of electron is purely depends upon square of the k value, and these two have a relation. That means then the variation of energy with respect to k is varies in a manner parabolic, because this is in the form of y equals to x square, E equals to k square. So that's why the energy of electron with respect to momentum or propagation vector is varies in a parabolic manner. So here we are taking the quantum mechanics and we are treating the motion of electron is a wave motion, and the energy of electron is varies in the relation E is proportional to k square. That means in a parabolic manner. So see this diagram. So this is the nucleus of one atom. So this is the nucleus of another atom. So in this way, all these are the nucleuses of atoms, nuclei of atoms. So in between the nuclei, so here the nuclei is treated as positive ion sites. So in between the positive ion sites, the electron is moving in a parabolic manner. That means the energy varies in a parabolic manner. So between the positive ions, the electron energy varies parabolically. So in this way, obeying E is proportional to k square. So come to our direct and indirect band gap semiconductors. So first of all, we discuss about direct band gap semiconductors. So this diagram, so this band is called valence band and this band is called conduction band. In between conduction band and valence band, there exists an energy gap which is denoted with Eg. So here Eg is the energy gap, Ec is the energy of the conduction band, Ev is the energy of valence band. So in semiconductors, there exists energy gap in the range of or less than 3 electron volts. So here we are draw a graph between energy versus wave vector. So here we are taking a graph between energy versus wave vector. What is wave? What is k? K is nothing but propagation constant or wave vector, but here k purely indicates the momentum of electron. Here k gives the momentum of electron. Come to this diagram. The minimum of the conduction band is always lies exactly the maximum of the valence band. So the minimum of the conduction band is always lies the maximum of the valence band. Such type of semiconductors are called direct band gap semiconductors. So in direct band gap semiconductors, the minimum of conduction band is lies exactly the maximum of the valence band. In the conduction band, the electron possesses more energy. So because this is the higher energy level. So in this, the electron possesses more energy. Always the electron wants to attain stability. So that's why it comes to the lower energy band, that is nothing but our valence band, and this conduction band electron recombines the hole which is present in the valence band. So in this recombination, that means electron is recombines with the hole. So in this recombination, the difference of energy between the conduction band and valence band is emitted in the form of light energy. That means the photons are emitted. This energy is always equals to the energy gap between the conduction band and valence band, that is Eg equals to h nu. Here nu is nothing but c by lambda. So that's why Eg equals to hc by lambda. So the emitted energy by the recombination process is always in the form of light. So that's why the direct band gap semiconductors are used in the fabrication of LEDs, that means light emitting diodes or laser diodes. So laser diodes and LEDs gives light as output. So in those materials we use direct band gap semiconductors for the fabrication. Okay, clear? Once again, here when the conduction band electron recombines with the valence band, the energy is conserved. That means the difference of energy is emitted in the form of light. Here law of conservation of energy is obeyed. In the same fashion, the conduction band electron and the valence band hole are lies at the same wave vector. So for this electron and hole, the K value is same. That's why when the transition takes place from conduction band to valence band, there is no momentum change. That means the momentum is conserved. So in each and every direct transition in direct band gap semiconductor or in each and every recombination, they obeys law of conservation of energy and law of conservation of momentum. That means these two are having at same wave vector. Otherwise, the electron and hole possess the same momentum. So come to our indirect band gap semiconductor. So this is different case because the conduction band minimum is not exactly on the valence band maximum. Okay, so the conduction band minimum is not exactly on the valence band maximum. So the conduction band minimum possess the wave vector is here. Momentum of this conduction band electron is here. The momentum of hole which is at the maximum, that is here. That means there exists difference in momentum. But here the momentum is same for this electron and hole. But here the momentum of this electron and this hole is different. So that means here the violation of law of conservation of momentum takes place when it recombines with the valence band. That means it's not that much of easy to take direct transition because of the momentum variation. So that's why our electron initially reduces its velocity and it comes an intermediate energy state which is having the same momentum of this hole. So once again, this electron reduces its momentum or velocity and it is trapped in an intermediate energy state and it settles in that energy state and equalizes its momentum to the hole. So this intermediate state is also known as recombination center. This intermediate energy state is also known as recombination center. Otherwise, this intermediate state is also known as defect center. Otherwise, trapped energy state. So all these are called this energy state. So this electron reduces its velocity or loses its momentum and comes into the recombination center. From this, the direct transition takes place and it recombines with the hole. So that's why the transition is not takes directly. The transition takes via using some intermediate state. So that's why this is known as indirect transition. So that's why these type of semiconductors are called indirect band gap semiconductors. Generally, silicon and germanium are acts as indirect band gap semiconductors. Here the electron reduces its momentum and comes in this position. After that it recombines with the hole. So in this time, when it is reducing its momentum, it gives its momentum to the crystal. So how it is reducing its momentum means it gives some momentum to the crystal lattice, germanium or silicon crystal lattice. So by taking or by the absorption of that momentum, the crystal starts to vibrating. So those quantized vibrations are called phonons. So this is the very important term, phonon. Phonon is nothing but the quantized lattice vibrations. Here when this electron gives its momentum to the silicon or germanium crystal, that crystal begins to vibrating. Those quantized vibrations are called phonons. So finally, the conduction band electron, by absorbing or emitting these phonons, it comes to an intermediate state. So because of the help of or use of phonons, the conduction band electron recombines with the valence band hole. In that recombination, it emits some amount of energy by obeying the law of conservation of energy. So that emitted energy is most of the cases in the form of heat. In some cases, the emitted energy is in the form of light, but it is in invisible region. That means in IR region. So finally, the total energy is equals to energy of photon plus energy of phonons. So with the help of phonons, the recombinations takes place. So that's why these are called indirect band gap semiconductor. So once again, what is meant by phonon? Phonon is nothing but quantized lattice vibrations. When the lattice begins to vibrate means when the electron reduces its momentum. So then the phonons are generated. With the help of phonons, the conduction band electron recombines with the valence band. So in indirect band gap semiconductors, this is the total energy. Examples of indirect band gap semiconductors are either germanium or silica. Example of direct band gap semiconductor is GaAs. GaAs means gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenides are used as direct band gap semiconductors. Okay, come to direct band gap semiconductor. So this is the energy diagram of direct band gap semiconductor. So by obeying E is proportional to K square, always the whole energy is changes parabolically and the electron energy is also changes in a parabolic manner. So these are the points which already discussed in the previous slide. So once again, in a semiconductor, that is direct gap means the minimum of the conduction band lies exactly above the maximum of the valence band in EK space. We are taking energy versus K. So next one, in direct band gap semiconductor, electrons at the conduction band minimum can combine directly with the holes at the valence band maximum while conserving the momentum. The energy of the recombination across the band gap will be emitted in the form of photons of light. This is a radiative transition because the energy is emitted in the form of light. So that's why this transition is known as radiative transition or radiative recombination. The example of direct band gap semiconductors is gallium arsenide, which is commonly used in laser diodes and LEDs. Come to indirect band gap semiconductor. Not all semiconductor materials have the minimum of conduction band above the top of valence band in EK band structure. These materials, so which doesn't possess the minimum is exactly on the maximum, those type of semiconductors are called indirect band gap semiconductors. So examples, silicon and germanium. In indirect band gap is a band gap in which the minimum of conduction band is shifted by a K vector relative to the valence band. The K vector difference represent a difference in momentums. K vector is always represent momentum. So the difference in K vector is represents the difference in momentums. In indirect band gap semiconductor, a photon cannot be emitted. In indirect band semiconductor, a photon cannot be emitted because the electron must passes through an intermediate state. So initially, the electron must passes through an intermediate state, which are called trapped electronic state or defect state, and transfers momentum to the crystal lattice. In that time, it transfers momentum to the crystal lattice. So then phonons are generated. So with the help of either absorption or emission of phonons, recombination takes place. So with the help of phonons only, recombinations takes place indirectly. So that's why this is called indirect band gap semiconductor. Since a phonon involves in this process, the radiative recombination is much slow. So because of there is a delay, because they exchange the phonons, then only recombination takes place. So there is a delay in the recombination. So that's why the recombination is slow. So these are the differences between direct band gap and indirect band gap semiconductors. Here the lifetime of the charge carriers are very less. So that's why they are used in fabrication of LEDs and laser diodes. And once again, in this recombination, energy is emitted in the form of photons, that means light. So that's why they are very much useful in LEDs and laser diodes. Come to this, in indirect band gap semiconductor, the carrier's velocity is decreased. So when the carrier's velocity is decreased, its lifetime gets increased. So that's why the lifetime of charge carriers is more in indirect band gap semiconductors. When the lifetime of the charge carriers is more, they are used in the fabrication of diodes and transistors to amplify the signals. So the indirect band gap semiconductors are used in the fabrication of diodes and transistors to amplify the signals. Once again, the emitted radiation is in invisible region, that means they are in IR region. So that's why these indirect band gap semiconductors are used in TV remotes, AC remotes, etc. Examples of these are silicon and germanium. Examples of direct band gap semiconductor is indium phosphide or gallium arsenide. So here, when the composition of gallium and arsenide changes, the band gap between the direct band gap semiconductor is also changes. So this is the advantage in direct band gap semiconductor. So when the composition of gallium and arsenide is changed, then the band gap between the energy, valence band energy and conduction band energy is also we can change. Once again, when the composition of gallium and arsenide is changes, then the indirect band gap semiconductor changes as direct band gap semiconductor. The direct band gap semiconductor changes as indirect band gap semiconductors by changing the composition of gallium and arsenide. So this is about direct and indirect band gap semiconductors. Thank you.